Classic G-Body, and this is the video on what vehicle was it under the cover in my garage. Well, it's a 2008 Cobalt Super Sport Turbo, and there's a pretty interesting story on how I acquired this car. This car in the Cobalt SS community might be known as one of the Pat O'Brien Cobalts, and the reason for that is because these Cobalts are built in Lordstown, Ohio, which is eastern Ohio near Youngstown. When these cars are built, they are put on a train and sent to their destination. At least the ones that are traveling thousands of miles. There were 50 plus Cobalt Super Sports that were built and on a train heading west to California. During their trip, Hurricane Ike, in late 2007, Hurricane Ike came through the Midwest. I believe it was late 2007. Came through the Gulf up to the Midwest and went right past this train, went right over this train where these Cobalts were shipped on. Well, considering these cars were all facing in one direction, they had wind damage from the storm on the driver's side. So what GM did was they wrote off all 50 plus of these Cobalts, sent them to an auction. Pat O'Brien Chevrolet then bought all of them and then sold them at their 3 different dealerships that they have in northern Ohio. I got wind of these cars from another friend who bought one and said, hey, you need to get up to Pat O'Brien if you want to buy one of these Super Sports. So what I did was I went up there, started looking at these cars, and I didn't realize, he actually didn't realize that these were part of a wind-damaged bunch. And I actually found out through one of the cars, because these cars were sitting on the lot for a while, and they were quite dirty. So when I finally test drove it, I picked out the one I wanted. The car prep dude washed the car down. It was all set to go. I started looking over the car to make sure it was fine, and I noticed the whole driver's side was just littered with almost what it looked like was paint or lint from the towel. So I started to wipe it off with my hand and it wouldn't come off, and I felt that it was actually in the paint. I started to look at the glass and everything else, and the glass itself was etched. So the whole driver's side of this car was just chipped up. And I told the salesman, I said, this car, there's something up with this car. So he looked at it, he got the manager out there, they said, yes, this car was part of an auctioned off bunch that were sent west, and all of them are damaged, and that's why we're selling them cheap. Now, cheap is what I mean, $16,500. I bought this car for $16,500 and its stickers for $24,500. I ended up going through 6 of these cars. I had the detail guy wash every one until I found one. Now be it that they had 30 of these cars in the lot. We went through 6 of them before I found one that was not damaged. So even though GM wrote off all 50 plus of these cars, I actually found one that was not damaged. So this car was one of the spared in the bunch that doesn't have a single scratch or chip on it. I think the salesman was about to kill me, because I took up his entire day making sure I found the car I wanted. But, I mean, yeah, I paid $16,500 for it, but hey, it was still a brand new car. Still had the window sticker in it, and it had only 80 miles on it when I bought it. So, that's the story. It was bought at Pat O'Brien. I bought it in almost a year ago, March of 2009, and this car is on the list of the fastest production American cars, according to Road and Track Magazine, Car and Driver, Motor Trend. All of those automotive magazines, they have a list that considers the 2008 Cobalt Super Sport Turbo the fastest production car, and they have it listed at running $13.99 in the quarter mile at 104 miles an hour. I took this car to the track this last summer. I was able to get it down to a 1410 at 103. So I will be taking it again this year. And once the weather breaks, I'll go ahead and take a ride-along video of this car. So that's the story behind this car that was under the cover in my garage. I absolutely love it. It's a fun car to drive. And Thanks for watching.